Given the current state of things, endless layoffs, inflation, stress is piling up, people are getting sick and tired of just being sick and tired. And here's the wild part. There's a little rebellion that's already starting. It's actually called the Buy Nothing Rebellion. This rebellion is not about minimalism. It's actually about freedom from the system, the noise, from manipulation. And you've likely felt that before, that moment when life starts to feel like it's just a cycle of work, worry, and consumption. Like you're just running on a treadmill that only speeds up. You scroll on Instagram at 2 o'clock in the morning and see someone unboxing the newest product. And suddenly you feel like your life is empty, inadequate, or just restless. Now, that emptiness is unfortunately not a glitch. It's actually quite intentional. You see, companies have been training us to chase this sense of not enough, and we fall for it again and again. We buy what we don't need, hoping to feel complete, hoping to feel just anything. And that's exactly where the Buy Nothing Rebellion starts. Noticing that trap, seeing the patterns, and then realizing that the desire itself is what they've been selling. So every purchase that you think will make you feel that emptiness, it's actually quite engineered, and it keeps you coming back for more. Here's the truth. Every ad that you see and every sale flashing across your screen is actually carefully designed to make you feel like you're not enough. And we believe it. We buy things we don't need to prove things that we don't care about to people that we barely know. And here's the thing. Most of us are actually too polite to admit that we feel this way. We smile, we post pictures, we keep chasing, thinking maybe the next thing will actually make me happy. But it never does. The product is never the point. It's the craving, the desire that they're actually selling us. They've turned dissatisfaction into a business model. So when you feel that twinge of, I need this, it's not just a whim. It's biology, psychology, and capitalism all conspiring to keep you running in one place. That's why this rebellion is actually quite radical, because the moment you stop chasing, you're already ahead of the system. Think about your own life. How many times have you scrolled at Amazon at 1 o'clock in the morning and convinced yourself, I really need this? Or walked past a sale and thought, I deserve this? Or seen someone unbox the newest phone or sneaker and felt that feeling of insecurity or just missing out. It happens to all of us, and that's why the rebellion matters, because it starts with noticing these little moments. I've been there too. I've been standing in the middle of Target and staring at a blender thinking, yeah, this is going to change my life. But here's the spoiler, it doesn't. And yet, every time you buy something unnecessary, you feed a machine that thrives on your insecurity. You're not weak, you're human. But the moment you recognize the pattern, that's when the power starts to shift. Every choice not to participate is actually a tiny act of rebellion. And every time you step away from the checkout or ignore the algorithm, you reclaim a little control over your life. Here's why it's so hard. Dopamine. Your brain loves the anticipation of a reward more than the reward itself. That spike that you get when you add something to your cart. This is slot machine level excitement. And what happens once it arrives? That thrill fades almost instantly. So you chase it again and again. Another gadget, another subscription, another just whatever. Your brain is being gamed, and the algorithm knows it. Your wants are not really yours, and they're actually carefully curated, engineered, and delivered in a way that keeps you coming back for more and more. And it's not just tech. It could be retail, fashion, entertainment. They're all designed to trigger the same addictive loop. And you ever notice how limited time offers or only 3 left in stock make you panic buy? That's no accident. That's behavioral science being weaponized for profit. And we've been trained to chase that fleeting pleasure instead of building lasting satisfaction. And here's the irony. Once you recognize it, once you realize how manipulative the system is, that's when the rebellion actually starts. And with awareness, with consciousness, with conscious choices, with saying, I'm done being manipulated. Here's the amazing part. Some people have already started fighting back, not with marches, protests, or hashtags. They just stop participating. They ignore the things that they can't have. They stop buying what they don't need. The buy nothing rebellion is quiet, simple, and radical. Every time you borrow a tool, repair a broken item, or share what you have, you're actually resisting the system. Every purchase that you don't make is a tiny act of defiance. It doesn't feel revolutionary at first. It actually feels quite awkward, weird, and sometimes uncomfortable. But you start noticing something strange. Life becomes lighter, freedom creeps in, and you realize that happiness isn't stuff at all. It's actually the choices that you make and the connections that you build. Here's the thing. When you stop chasing more, life actually starts to feel a lot bigger. The things that you thought you needed, they're actually just clutter, distractions, and invisible chains that you don't even notice. Suddenly, little things start hitting differently. Morning sunlight on your desk, coffee without scrolling on your social media feed, and just laughing with friends without necessarily needing to have to impress anyone. Even just sometimes just doing absolutely nothing feels richer than all those impulse purchases ever could have done. Freedom isn't about necessarily owning less, it's about needing less. It's realizing that the joy, the excitement, the satisfaction, it's been inside of you all along. And once you experience that, it's like seeing in color for the first time. You can't unsee it. And here's the best part. It doesn't require a manifesto, a donation, or some extreme lifestyle exchange. It starts with small, intentional choices, like skipping a sale, sharing a tool. Every choice like this pulls you closer to freedom, one little act at a time. It feels weird at first. You might feel like you're missing out, but here's the secret. The more you step away from consumption treadmill, the less you actually want what they're selling, and you start reclaiming life that was never meant to be sold. Here's something people don't tell you. Happiness isn't a thing to chase. It's a state to cultivate. The more we rely on stuff for validation, the more trapped we get in this endless loop of consumption. And that loop, it's actually quite exhausting. Think about your brain. It's designed to seek novelty, reward, and social approval. Advertisers and algorithm exploit every one of those impulses. So every limited time offer triggers panic. Every social post triggers comparison. And every purchase gives a tiny temporary spike of satisfaction that disappears almost instantly. That's why the rebellion is more than not buying. It's about rewiring yourself to find satisfaction outside the system, to notice joy in things that cost nothing, to cultivate presence, connection, and creativity, things that algorithms just can't sell you. And when you start doing that, you notice something fascinating. Life becomes richer, slower, and just more textured. You stop measuring it in objects or followers. You actually start measuring it in moments, in relationships, and in freedom. And suddenly you realize just how powerful just saying no to the machine really is. So how do you join? It's simpler than it actually sounds. Step one, before buying anything, ask yourself, do I actually need this, or was I told to need it? It seems basic, but it's actually revolutionary. Step two, unfollow the noise. Social media feeds, ads, influencers, and just anything that makes you feel small, inadequate, or like you're just missing out. The less exposure that you have to curated consumption, the more your brain can actually just relax. Step three, share, borrow, repair, connect. Find friends or neighbors who want to swap or lend or fix things together. Suddenly life becomes collaborative, creative, and rich in ways that money just can't touch. And every choice like this is actually a tiny act of rebellion. Every time you resist an ad, refuse a purchase, or repair instead of replace, you reclaim freedom. You remind yourself that your life doesn't have to be sold in boxes or delivered overnight. And here's the best part. It actually spreads. When friends see that this is what you're doing, they question their own choices. When communities organize, the impact actually multiplies. And it's quiet, it's incremental, but it is unstoppable. And that's the power of just the buy nothing rebellion. Here's the truth. You're not alone. Communities around the world are actually already living this way. Neighbors sharing tools, friends pulling groceries, strangers giving things away for free, just no strings attached, no marketing, just connection. And it's not anti-capitalist, it's actually pro-human. The less we buy, the more life we actually have. And the beauty of it, these choices are not extreme at all. They're small, intentional, just everyday acts. You don't need to live in a tiny house or move to commute. You just need to start seeing the world differently. When you start practicing this, you notice life expanding in ways money never could. Conversations start to become deeper, relationships become stronger, and moments become richer. And suddenly, the buy nothing rebellion isn't about resisting something external. It's about reclaiming what's been yours all along: your time, your energy, and your attention. It's actually quite empowering. It's contagious, and the more people join, the bigger it grows. Not on social media, but in reality. And that's the kind of movement that lasts quite a long time. Here's our manifesto. Simple, clear, and radical in its quiet way. Enough with the illusion. Enough feeling inadequate because someone posted a new gadget or a product or wore the perfect outfit. Enough giving your time, energy, and money to the machine. We don't need more stuff. We need more connection, more presence, more freedom, more life. The rebellion isn't about extreme minimalism or just living in a bubble. It's about intention. Every purchase that you refuse, every item that you repair, every tool that you borrow, every meal that you share, and just every moment that you spend fully present. That's part of the manifesto. That's the resistance. That's life reclaimed. And here's the magic. It's already within reach. You don't need to move, quit your job, or radically disrupt your life. You just need to see the system for what it is and decide to act differently. That's it. This is why it works. It's quiet, it's personal, and it's incremental. But when enough of us practice it, it starts to grow. Not as a hashtag, not as a trend, but as a real, living, breathing movement. And that's the kind of rebellion that doesn't die. It's not flashy, it's not loud, but it is unstoppable. And the first step is yours to take. So here's a challenge. Next time you feel that impulse, that itch to buy something that you don't need, just don't. Just stop and ask yourself, am I feeding the machine or feeding my life? Every no is a vote for freedom. Every shared meal, every repaired item, every borrowed tool is a small act of rebellion. And when enough of us do it, it starts to ripple. Friends start noticing, neighbors start connecting, communities begin reshaping themselves, one choice at a time. This is a buy nothing rebellion. It's quiet, intentional, and deeply human. It doesn't require hashtags or marches. It doesn't require extreme sacrifice. It just requires awareness, courage, and the willingness to see your life just a little bit differently. The more you practice it, the more your perspective changes. You realize what you truly have. You find joy in movements instead of just merchandise. You reclaim time, energy, and attention. And that's just priceless. So here's your next step. Skip the impulse buy. Share instead of buy. Repair instead of replace. And in doing so, take back your life. One small rebellion at a time. Buy nothing, be free.